Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Marina Grossu from Washington, D.C. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Pope Francis has released his message for the 2024 World Day of Social Communications, centering on artificial intelligence and the wisdom of the heart towards a fully human communication. Set for May 12th, this year's theme is closely connected to the Pope's message for the World Day of Peace, which was dedicated to the development of systems of artificial intelligence. Pointing out how AI is affecting the foundations of life and society, the Holy Father stated that wisdom cannot be sought from machines. The Pope also said that in this age of technology that threatens to make us rich in technology but poor in humanity, our reflection must begin from the human heart. The Israeli government and Hamas leadership are currently deadlocked, with both expressing a desire for a ceasefire to facilitate a prisoner swap. However, the negotiations have hit an impasse due to disagreements on the conditions. Hamas rejected Israel's proposal for a long-term ceasefire because it included a condition for top Hamas commanders to leave the Gaza Strip for foreign exile. U.S., Qatari, and Egyptian mediators have been working to negotiate terms for a month-long ceasefire, including a staggered exchange beginning with civilians and eventually leading to the release of soldiers. Meanwhile, the Houthis have issued a demand for British and American aid workers, including Yemeni citizens holding dual citizenship, to depart from the country within 30 days amid escalating tensions between the Iran-backed group and Western nations. A Russian military aircraft carrying 65 captured Ukrainian soldiers who were to be swapped for prisoners reportedly crashed in the western Belgorod region bordering Ukraine on Wednesday at around 11 a.m. Moscow time. The Russian news agency RIA Novosti quoted the defense ministry as saying that all 74 people, including 6 crew and 3 Russian servicemen on board, were killed in the crash. While Russia has accused Ukraine of deliberately shooting down the Russian military transport plane, Ukraine has refrained from either confirming or denying the charges, calling for full clarification of the circumstances of the incident. Fulani herdsmen and other terrorists attacked Christian settlements in Nigeria's Plateau State, murdering at least 25 people, as told by area residents. They said that the assaults began on January 22nd and continued until January 24th, displacing thousands of residents from Mangu County. In a text message to Christian Daily International Morning Star News, a resident said that the attackers encircled the settlements and killed everyone they came across, especially women and children. Senator Diket Plang called on the military and security personnel to protect the residents and urged the authorities to investigate the attacks and hold the guilty accountable. In a similar assault, 6 Christians were killed in Baucos County on January 17th. In an attempt to make the reporting of anti-corruption concerns easier, the Holy See has published new norms on Wednesday. According to the procedure, reports on particular situations related to anomalies in the use or allocation of financial or material resources, irregularities in the awarding of contracts, or in the conduct of transactions or disposals, and acts of corruption or fraud can be reported in writing using a dedicated email address or by a confidential letter addressed to the Auditor General. The procedure also ensures that the identity of the whistleblower will be safeguarded. The head of the U.S. Bishop's Domestic Justice Committee has lauded a proposed congressional plan aimed at enhancing the child tax credit for taxpayers, asserting that it aligns with the type of policy legislators should prioritize. Archbishop Boris Gudziak said the proposed modification to the tax credit represents a significant step forward in assisting low-income families. The existing federal child tax credit allows parents and guardians to claim their dependent children on their tax forms, providing a tax break of up to $2,000. Of this amount, up to $1,600 can be refundable, allowing taxpayers to receive cash payments for the credit. A bipartisan agreement currently under consideration in Congress proposes an increase in the refundable portion of the payment of $1,900 for the tax year 2024. The enhanced credit is seen as crucial in supporting struggling families to meet basic needs and has the potential to lift many children out of poverty. On Wednesday, the Ohio House of Representatives voted to ban sex change interventions for children, overriding Governor Mike DeWine's veto of House Bill 68. The new law, which is expected to go into effect within 90 days, will ban sex change surgeries and hormone therapies. It also prohibits biological males from playing on girls' and women's sports teams at both the K-12 and collegiate levels. The legislation, backed by the Center for Christian Virtue and sponsored by Representative Gary Click and Representative Jenna Powell, also bans performing any aesthetic surgeries on children to facilitate a gender transition. The 2024 International Religious Freedom Summit is scheduled to take place in Washington, D.C. from January 30th to the 31st. The summit will bring together notable religious freedom advocates from around the globe. The speakers at the summit include former Kansas Governor Sam Brownback, who served as Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom from February 2018 to January 2021, Dr. Katrina Lantos Sweat, who serves as President of the Lantos Foundation for Human Rights and Justice, and former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. The Acton Institute, the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, and International Christian Concern are some of the partners of this year's summit. Open Doors, a non-denominational advocacy group, says that over 365 million Christians face intense persecution for their faith around the world. According to verified data, the Catholic Church in northern Nicaragua is suffering a serious priest shortage as a result of persecution and assaults by the Daniel Ortega and Rosario Murillo regimes. Since 2018, at least 97 priests have been forced to leave Nicaragua, and in 2020, the Diocese of Matagalpa lost 42% of its priests. At least 37 Nicaraguan priests were forced into exile and sought safety in other nations, as confirmed by the Mosaico CSI team. Consequently, many parishes function without a pastor and are staffed by deacons or emerging priests. The shortage of priests has impacted pastoral activity, resulting in the absence of sacraments like the Eucharist and reconciliation. Pro-life leaders and Catholic bishops in Massachusetts and New York are calling on residents to oppose proposed legislation that would permit terminally ill patients to request assisted suicide to end their lives. The so-called Medical Aid in Dying Act in New York and End of Life Options Act in Massachusetts permits assisted suicide to terminally ill individuals on request. The New York State's Catholic Conference, which has opposed the bill in the last two legislative sessions, urged residents to oppose this dangerous and deadly practice, and Massachusetts Citizens for Life has also asked its supporters to submit testimony against the bill to their state legislators in an email dated Wednesday, January 24th. The number of religiously unaffiliated people in the United States has dropped for the first time in years, according to Pew Research. Based on the report, the number of Americans who identify as nuns has come down to 28%, which is a departure from the prior pattern of a consistent increase in their population. However, the think tank noted that this one data point may be insufficient to conclude whether the reduction represents a plateau or an anomaly in methodology. The survey also found that religiously unaffiliated people hold a variety of views, with many maintaining a feeling of spirituality or faith in God. The theatrical premiere of the fourth season of The Chosen took place in London's Leicester Square on Monday. The series will hit the screens on February 1st in the US, UK, Canada, and Irish theaters. The hit historical drama series, based on the life of Christ, stars Jonathan Rumi as Jesus, alongside Shahar Isaac, Elizabeth Tabish, Paras Patel, Noah James, and George Xanthis. The series, directed by Dallas Jenkins, showcases the revolutionary life and teachings of Christ set against the backdrop of Jewish oppression. The show, which is more than just entertainment, takes its viewers deeper into the gospel stories. The biggest crowdfunded project in the history of television, the series is made available to watch on Angel.com or on the Angel app. And those are your latest headlines. Join us again tomorrow for more. You can also visit us at swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.